Welcome to Catching Your First Wave, an introductory series on how to catch your first wave as a surfer. So this is for you guys who are beginner surfers just starting out and really want to know everything you need to know in order to make the most out of this sport. Now, who am I? I was a beginner surfer not too long ago. I started out surfing only a few years ago, and I've progressed pretty decently up to this point. So I'm going to tell you over the next few minutes how you should go about catching your first wave. First, you have to be comfortable in the water. This means being able to hold your breath and being able to swim decent distances. You don't have to be an all-star swimmer by any stretch of the imagination, but it's my recommendation to first get your reps in the pool, swimming in a lake, some controlled body of water to get comfortable swimming. Once you're comfortable swimming, then you can take the next step to become a surfer. You've built up your swim capacity. Now it's time to improve your breath holding capacity. We want to improve our breath holding capacity so that we know when we get held under during a wash through set that we will be fine and we can just relax and trust our breathing. In order to do this, I recommend CO2 tables. This is when you hold your breath for a certain amount of time and then rest for the remaining amount of time. So if we're doing a CO2 table of 2 minutes, I would hold my breath for 45 seconds and then recover for 1:15. You do this 5 or 6 times and you'll be amazed at the amount of improvement over just a few days. Now, make sure you do these while sitting down and on land. Do not do these in the water. It's a way that you can hurt yourself. Okay, so we have our body taken care of. We've become better swimmers. We've got our breathing taken care of. We've improved our breath holding. Now it's time to get in the water and catch our first wave. As a beginner surfer, you really don't know what kind of board to choose, and I'm here to point you in the right direction. Always go with a lot of volume and a lot of length for your first time. See boards like this. This is a perfect beginner board. It's 8 foot tall, has a lot of volume, and will help you catch waves. The reason being, boards that are longer and have more volume sit higher on the water. This way, when you paddle, you act like a large raft being able to float onto the wave. The downside to these boards is that they're less responsive. So as you become more of an advanced surfer and you begin to do maneuvers, they don't maneuver as well in the water. But what you're mainly concerned about for your first few months of surfing is catching as many waves as possible. And these are the kind of boards that will allow you to do that. So look for boards that are 7 to 8 foot long and ideally foam soft tops. Okay, we got your swimming taken care of. We got your breath holds taken care of, and we got your board selection taken care of. Now the next thing to understand is where are you going to go surfing for your first time. Not all spots are beginner spots. So if you pull up to a surf location and there's the famous spot, the main break, I highly recommend you do not go there. Ask around town and make sure you get a good scope for what the beginner spots are. Additionally, you're going to want to go out on a chill day. Make sure you check the surf forecast and you look for the days that are 1 to 2 foot. There's no point in going out your first day having it be 4 to 5 feet, because to be honest, at this point in your surf journey, you're just looking to get more comfortable in the water. You're not concerned with catching the best wave possible. So as far as surf forecasting, we're going to look for the waves to be around 1 to 2 foot, very small wave energy, maybe 50 to 100 kilojoules of wave energy, and you're just looking to go out there and feel comfortable. The next thing I would recommend is going out with an instructor, a guide, or a friend, someone who knows how to surf. This will be extremely helpful for you. Of course, I think a lot of learning you can do on your own, but particularly that first week or so, make sure you have someone take you out. It'll be safe and it'll save you from a lot of tricky situations. Additionally, it'll protect the other people in the lineup, because as a new surfer, you are a hazard to the other people in the lineup. So we have our checklist for catching our first wave. Become a good swimmer. Increase your breath holding and ability to hold your breath underwater. Picking the right equipment. Choosing the right wave, and going out with a friend. These are the 5 things I would recommend for every beginner surfer to do in order to catch their first wave. We're out in the water and we're ready to catch our first wave. What we first want to do is notice. Notice how the surfers are catching their waves. Notice where in relation to the wave the surfers are catching their wave. You may notice that the same surfers are catching all the waves over and over again. This is common in surfing, because those are the surfers who know how to read the waves and who are familiar with a spot. These are the people you want to learn from. Your first day in, you're not going to be able to do this. So just sit back and learn. See how the waves form. See what part of the wave they take off on. And that's really what you want to focus on. All these things you're going to look to do before catching your first wave. And now when it's finally time to catch your first wave, hit the next video where I go in depth about the pop-up, how to pop up on a surfboard.